Hello, friends. How you doing? Um, I got a story to tell you. So there's this guy. Let's just call him Joe Average. There's this guy, and he's born into a privileged life, and throughout his privileged life, he is essentially given all the comforts that he needs and all the luxuries that life doesn't afford most other people. Um, Now, a person who's in that situation has entitlement. They have assets, they have prestige, they own, they probably own some industrial business or some land. And this particular person was a landowner. So, pretty damn good life, I'd say, huh? Things started to go downhill, and this person lost everything. Everything. And, well, not everything. Uh, this person managed to hang on to his car and the contents of the car. And started living in this car. Now, this same gentleman, fast forward, you know all the rest of it. Fast forward to like today, this same gentleman who hasn't washed or showered or bathed in months and he's living in his car, he's got no money, and he's got no hope. But what he does have is a dream. This is the story of a dream, ladies and gentlemen. The dream that one man has, what keeps him going, how he holds on. This is the dream of Stinky Von Helton.
Alrighty, I'm fighting a stuffed up nose, but I just wanted to bring up something that apparently everybody overlooked in Jess's live show, and that is the fact that remember I asked her point blank, I said, hey, I prefer Asian women. Are you going to be able to find me an Asian chick up there? She said, oh, yeah, no problem. I can find you an Asian chick. And so, for those of you that are thinking that she didn't invite me up there, well, then why would she tell me she could find me an Asian chick if she didn't invite me up there? Oops. Yeah, kind of a contradictory situation there, huh? Of course she invited me up there. Of course she invited me. And she also said that she could help me find an Asian girlfriend because I told her I prefer Asians. Nobody remembers that? None of you trolls remember that from her live show? None of you? Damn, that's pretty sad. Because I remember that. Now, it might not have been her live show. It might have been John's live show. But it was somebody's live show. And she's like, yeah, man, I can find you an Asian girlfriend. No problem. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, she did invite me. For those of you that are saying that she didn't, she did. And as for her 3 properties, one in California, one in Oregon, and one in Washington State, she said those things too. Said she wanted to get rid of one. And I said, well, I'll be more than happy to flip that house for you. Get me a bird dog fee. You get lots of money. Everybody's happy. I go get my own place at that point. No harm, no foul. Obviously, the bird dog fee on a $3 million home is going to be pretty fucking nice, wouldn't you say? I would think so. I would think I'd be able to get my own place with that kind of money, because the bird dog fee on it's going to be quite substantial. So yeah, I shouldn't have no problem getting my own place after flipping a house. And I could take the proceeds of what's left after I get me a place and use that money to springboard onto another property that I can flip and make some money off of. And then I just keep leapfrogging like that till I'm old and gray. Well, some would say I'm already old and gray, but I don't believe that, because I know for a fact that this gray hair that you see is a product of nerves. It has nothing to do with me actually aging. When my father passed at 75, he had black hair. The only gray he had was on each temple, like Reed Richards. He had a little bit of gray on each temple like Reed Richards. Other than that, the rest of it was black as pitch. So no, this gray you see is from nerves. It has no bearing on my actual age whatsoever. None. Zero. So let's get that out of the way. But anyway, yeah, man, she's like, yeah, man, I can get you an Asian girlfriend. Well, so why would she invite me up there? Or why wouldn't she invite me up there if she told me she's going to get me an Asian girlfriend, right? Yeah, kind of contradictory there a little bit, huh? But I wanted to throw that out there because, apparently word's getting around, oh, well, she never really invited him up there, and she never did this, she never did that. Yeah, actually she did. Remember, folks, I'm not allowed to lie. I'm not allowed to lie. If she said those things, she said them. Now, like I said, it could be John's live show, it could have been her live show. Hell, it could have been my live show. I don't know, but it was one of the live shows. And I asked her point blank. I said, you going to be able to get me an Asian girlfriend? She said, yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing, baby. So you trolls were wrong yet again. Sorry, trolls, you were wrong yet again. All right, have a good one. Bye.
Well, well, well. How would you like? Actually, it's not a matter of how would you like. This is the format. Now that we've listened or watched Von Helton, hopefully you weren't watching, because you might start getting itchy. But let's unpack this if we can. So, anybody with me on this one? Yeah, let's just see what happens. If you got questions or you want to say something, put it in the chat. I'll be watching it. Okay, go.
Alrighty. I'm fighting a stuffed up nose, but
Okay, I guess there's the first thing. Winter's coming. He's living in his car. He's not eating well. He's not eating healthy. He's got a stuffed up nose. He looks like shit. I mean, look at that. He looks like shit. And that's the last mention of that. So let's get into the topic that he wants, that his video is all about. Go, Irvy. Hey, Irv. But Irvy Pervy here is it Irvy Pervy or Pervy Irvy? I can't, I'm not sure.
I just wanted to bring up something that apparently everybody overlooked in Jess's live show.
I don't know about Jess's live show because I have not seen it, nor has anyone, nor can I find a link to it, or maybe I just don't know where to look. So I don't know what happened in Jess's live show. Unless it wasn't Jess's live show, like he said, it was John's live show. In which case, I probably have it.
And that is the fact that, remember, I asked her point blank, I said, hey, I prefer Asian women. Are you going to be able to find me an Asian?
Actually, no, I don't remember that in my live show at all. Watching this, maybe I missed it and I walked away or something, but I don't remember this particular conversation between Von Helton and Jess, where he asked Jess if Jess will be able to find Von Helton an Asian girlfriend. Okay, so it's not a person, it's not a female, it's not a human being. It's an Asian girlfriend. Okay, let's just remember that. Just an Asian girlfriend.
Chick up there. She said, "Oh yeah, no problem. I can find you an Asian chick."
It's an Asian chick. It's a commodity. It's a slave.
And so, for those of you that are thinking that she didn't invite me up there, well, then why would she tell me she could find me an Asian chick if she didn't invite me up there?
Okay, so there's logic 101. Jess said that she could find me an Asian chick. Probably, if you're ever here, I could find you an Asian chick. Now, it's Jess said she could find me an Asian chick. So obviously, she wants me there. Otherwise, why would she tell me that she can find me an Asian slave, female slave? Just let's be fair to Von Helton, female slave. Just kidding. Yeah, just kidding.
Oops. Yeah, kind of a contradictory situation there, huh?
King contradiction.
Of course she invited me up there.
Of course she invited me up there. Oh, of course. What an idiot.
Of course she invited me. And she also said that she could help me find an Asian girlfriend.
There you go. How many times has he said that she can find she's going to find me an Asian girlfriend? How many times has he actually said the word the two words Asian girlfriend? Anybody counting? Can anybody count that high? Is there a computer on this planet that can compute a number that high? I don't think so. But we can keep on counting.
Because I told her I prefer Asians.
Asians.
Nobody remembers that? None of you.
You guys remember that? I don't personally. No. None of us remember that, Von Helton. None of us.
Trolls remember that?
No.
Her live show?
No.
None of you?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
That's pretty sad. I remember that. Now, it might not have been her live show.
Oh, it might not have been her live show. Oh, you don't remember that? You don't remember that? Oh, that's pretty sad. Oh, but it might not have been her live show. This guy is hilarious. This is comedy gold. And I don't think that this man is actually poor and living in his car. He's genius. He's comedic genius. He must have a mansion in Florida, huge, because of how much he must be raking it in with. I mean, the timing, brilliant. So let's soak up some more of this genius jocular artist.
It might have been John's live show, but it was somebody's live show.
No, somebody's live show.
She's like, yeah, man.
Well, if it's somebody's live show, then it's just hearsay.
And I can find you an Asian girlfriend, no problem.
You said it again.
So yeah, she did invite me.
So yeah.
For those of you that are saying that she didn't, she did.
Well, I'm sure Jess is going to have a response to this. At least I hope so, because this guy deserves to be put in his place.
And as for her 3 properties, one in California, one in Oregon, and one...
Now we're getting into her personal life. Jess, he said 3 properties, okay? So whatever. Jess properties. Now all of a sudden he's stuck his big honker of a nose into Jess's personal business. And now he's going to give his opinion of... Now, Jess is not a human being anymore, not a woman. Jess is now just another of his slaves, because he is he, as the entitled slave master, is a little bit upset that Jess has not lived out his dreams of her. It's isn't it funny? Isn't it hilarious?
In Washington State, she said those things too.
Washington.
Said she wanted to get rid of one. And I said, well, I'll be more than happy to flip that house for you.
So, hold on a second. So Jess, who doesn't know Vaughn other than from the car in the internet, they were talking about these properties that Jess has. And Jess was mentioning, I'd like to sell one of I got 3 properties in 3 different states, and I'd like to sell the one in Washington. And Von Helton's living in his car, no money, no income, no future. Von Helton says, Jess, I have 2 years of real estate. I'll come up there and I'll help you flip it, because I've got 2 years of real estate. And I guess that conversation didn't go very far. And now we are hearing the whinging and the whining and the crying.
Get me a bird dog fee. You get lots of money.
There you go.
Everybody's happy. I go get my own place at that point. No harm, no foul.
Easy peasy.
Obviously, the bird dog fee on a $3 million home is going to be pretty fucking nice, wouldn't you say? I would think so.
Bird dog
I would think
fee.
I'd be able to get my own place with that kind of money. Because the bird dog fee on it's going to be quite substantial. So, yeah, I shouldn't have no problem getting my own place after flipping a house. And I could take the proceeds of what's left after I get me a place and use that money to springboard onto another property that I can flip and make some money off of.
He's got to figure it out.
Just keep leapfrogging like that.
Jess, it's all your fault.
Till I'm old and gray. Well, some would say.
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack. He's now he's got... Okay, here's the deal. Let me see if I can understand. I mean, it's pretty deep. So Jess has to entrust her properties into the hands of greasy, grimy, stinky, unwashed, living in a car, hobo, vagabond, James Paul Von Helton. So that James Paul Von Helton can use his 2 years of real estate law, which he didn't use when he actually owned his own property. Nobody mentions that to him, that he didn't use his 2 years of real estate law, Von Helton. But now you want to persuade Jess to hand over the purchases and the selling and the transactions, the business transactions, the sales of Jess's apartment blocks for a, what did you call it? Dog fee, dog tag fee, dog fish fee, something. It's just so easy. Man. All right, so he carries on.
I'm already old and gray, but I don't.
This is look at him. He's not old and he's not gray. Okay, he's old, but he's not gray. And he explains why. Listen to this.
I believe that because I know for a fact that this gray hair that you see is a product of nerves. It has nothing to do with me actually aging. When my father passed at 75, he had black hair. The only gray he had was on each temple, like Reed Richards.
Okay, who the hell is Reed Richards? I've watched this. The first time I watched it, I didn't even catch it. Then the second time I watched it, I caught it. but I haven't Googled Reed Richards, but can anybody tell me who Reed Richards is? Does anyone know? Is this such a person?
He had a little bit of gray on each temple like Reed Richards. Other than that, the rest of it was black as pitch. So no, this gray you see is from nerves. It has no bearing on.
But Vaughn, you ask, why would you have nerves? You're such you're such an in control of your own life kind of person. What would there be to be nervous about, Vaughn? I mean, you're self-sufficient in your own security, you know? You can take care of yourself, Vaughn. You know it. You've bragged about it. Even G-Man endorses that. I mean, what better, uh, what better praise could you get than from G-Man? But the grayness that on your face and your head is not age. It's nerves. Ladies and gentlemen, it's nerves. Okay, nerves.
On my actual
Got it.
age whatsoever.
No.
Zero. So let's get that out of the way. But anyway, yeah, man. She's like, yeah, man, I can get you an Asian girlfriend.
Asian girlfriend.
Well,
Funny.
You know, so
funny he mentions
why would
that.
she invite me up there? Or why wouldn't she invite me up there if she told me she's going to get me an Asian girlfriend?
See,
right?
oh, repetition, again and again
yeah,
and again.
Kind of contradictory there a little bit.
Unbelievable.
But I wanted to throw that out there because, you know, apparently word's getting around. Oh, well, you know, she never really invited him up there, and she never did this, she never did that. Yeah, actually, she did. Remember, folks, I'm not allowed to lie. If she said those things, she said them. Now, like I said, it could
if
be
she said them, she
live
said them.
show, it could have been her live show. Hell, it could have been my live show. I don't know.
I
It
don't
was
know.
one of the live shows. And I asked her point blank. I said, "You gonna be able to get me an Asian girlfriend?" She said, "Yeah, absolutely." So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing, baby. So you trolls were wrong yet again. Sorry, trolls, you were wrong yet again. All right, have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay. Unbelievable. So that's the latest from Von Helton. I haven't been able to get hold of Gisela or anything because it seems that he goes live, and if you don't catch it, he nukes it or goes private or something. But what I do understand, I went to Fat Photog's channel, and I did catch some of Vaughn's latest journey off the wagon and in the downward direction. And it looks like he has started to surrender to his alcoholic nature and hit the bottle again. So, for his sake and for everybody on the roads around him, I hope he stays off the roads if he's going to be drinking. So, yeah, that's it. I am going to check the chat to see if anybody has any questions or comments or anything. Or maybe I better check to see if anybody's actually watching. Yes, there are, I guess. So, what do you think? What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this dude? What are we going to do with him? What's his fate? What's going to happen to Von Helton now? He hasn't. He didn't mention Sharpie in this in this video at all. He's just. You remember when he made that really bad video about Jdubs? You owe me $1,100, and the way you were talking about me, and blah blah blah. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna call the FBI. Blah 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 blah. Well, Jdubs is really not even. It's as if Jdubs didn't even hear that, or did, or I don't know. What am I trying to say, Sydney? What are you trying to say, Sydney? I don't think these two, Jdubs and Von Helton, can live apart from each other. Oh, yeah. I heard Jdubs, I saw Jdubs make a video saying, I got a place, Von, come over, get your table, we'll set you up, and you'll have a room, you'll have somewhere to stay. I miss you. I miss you, Von Helton. I'm pretty sure that sort of paraphrases the the part I got. Thank you to Fat Photo for grabbing that. You think Jdubs is paying him? Yeah. Well, if Jdubs was paying him, wouldn't he be on the move somewhere? Like, where is he going? Does he have any idea? Has anybody heard him say where he's actually headed to, other than west? Because I thought, personally, I thought that Arizona, the cousin, was going to be final stop. You know, Valhalla. I'm here. Weather's fine. No problem. But no, that didn't seem to. But he doesn't talk about that. He just sort of moves on and forgets about it. Knowing that we have a bit of a longer attention span than he does. Uh-huh, Willie. That's not a nice way to talk about anyone. Especially about something so stupid and petty as the absolute least of his problems in the world is having an Asian girlfriend, considering he's living in a filthy, stinky car, wearing filthy, stinky clothes, and an unwashed body for months. It cannot end up well unless there's an intervention. This guy just cannot take care of himself, nor does he. Maybe, I don't even know if he even wants to. He just expects him to be himself to be taken care of. That's why he has the story of the gods. At the very last moment is when they help me. I don't know how that works, but at the very last moment, and there's no very last moment. So maybe Todd Mallicoat will come up with another. Money. Money means nothing to me. Yeah, what's $500? Yeah, maybe somebody else will. I don't know. Last you watched, he was heading towards Florida from. What? Florida, really? I thought he was heading west. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Terrible. Appreciate it. But what makes you think he was heading towards? He's heading towards specifically St. Augustine, Florida, which I don't quite know where it is. I'm assuming it's up in the Panhandle, but I don't know. Please tell me. He won't get help from kind people because no one will get that close to him. Last week? Oh, Jacksonville. Okay, so yeah, that is the top. I think Jacksonville is not the capital of Florida. I'm not sure. Um, nice. Oh, come on, make up your mind. St. Augustine is on the coast, Atlantica. Oh shit. Hold on a second. He's gone from Arizona all the way over to Florida with Todd's $500. I'm not feeling it, man. How does this work? Oh man, anybody else have any other questions? Because I'm running out of material. You're still in Nevada. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Spicoli. I appreciate that. Okay. Okay. Well, my geographic knowledge of Florida is lacking at best. Well, if you do find him, what are you going to say to him? Vaughn is his own worst troll. Okay. Terrible. What are you going to say to him? You live near him, you found him, you walk over to his car. But no, he's just going to say, no, because then you win, you troll. Remember that excuse he gave to Jdubs? If I take a shower, the trolls win. And the trolls win. Remember that night? His plates are expired? Yeah, I will check out St. Augustine. I do a lot of sort of Google Earth, Google Maps looking around. So yeah. Maybe you're Asian. Well, then, if you're Asian, you'd have a pretty good nose for um, hillbilly odor. Hillbilly Kentucky odor. Ugh. Maybe people in Kentucky don't bathe as a general rule. You know, back in England in I don't know, a couple of hundred years ago, it wasn't fashionable to bathe, maybe once a month or something. And everybody, the whole family used the same bath water. That's pretty disgusting. So yeah, I think the Asians are one up on Von Helton for sure. Feed the dog, yes. Actually, no. Take the dog and go to the pet store and buy a decent dog food and feed the dog. Because this guy, Von Helton, is shoving hot dogs down the dog's throat. That is so not a dog food. So not a dog food. So St. Augustine is Spanish style architecture. So I was looking at a map the other day, and a whole huge chunk of the United States, including Texas and Florida, was Spanish owned. Um, at some point, I can't remember the date, but like a massive amount was Spanish owned. And I think that it should be given back to the Spanish. There's no excuse for the United States to hold on to conquered land that it took from the Spanish in such a brutal and vicious manner. Something of which I know absolutely nothing about, to be honest. Would be nice to find out. Nights of Lights. I guess everywhere in the fall, in the autumn time, there's some kind of a celebration of this new season. When it gets, I don't know how cold it gets in St. Augustine, but here it's, right now it's 7 degrees Celsius, which is cold, and I'm not sure what the conversion is. I'm too lazy to figure it out. It doesn't matter because no one uses it except for 330 million people in the United States. Vaughn should have stayed in the army. He would have had a better chance getting an Asian. I've spent most of my adult life married to a soldier. You know how many are married to Asians? A lot. Well, okay. But you know, the difference that I'm imagining here, JJ, is that these people have something in common. You know, maybe both sides have family backgrounds of military. I mean, it's doesn't. I'm not sure that anyone's getting married to an Asian in the military simply because they're Asian. They've probably got a hell of a lot more in common. Just saying. But for Von Helton, she's just an Asian slave woman he wants to control her. And not only does he want to control her, he wants to have at least 2 or 3 or more of her type as slave women, because he believes in a man having many wives and having many children with the many wives and being the king. That's what Von Helton believes. And he's an absolute capitalist, Von Helton, but he relies on food stamps to stay alive. He's a walking hypocrite. Hey, Melanie. That's the pronunciation I'm used to. So, just to sort of change the topic just a wee little bit, just a little bit. Disclaimer: I don't live in the US. I'm not a US citizen, but I'm going to talk about what I see happening with the Epstein situation in the United States. I don't understand why. I never understood why Joe Biden didn't just release the Epstein files, which would implicate Donald Trump and maybe others in devious behavior and so ruin their political careers. It seems to have backfired because the Epstein files are being released, and a lot of what is being released is implicating Democrats communicating with Epstein. Democrats who today, for example, one of them is Hakeem Jeffries. He's got some explaining to do why he was hanging out and fundraising and stuff with Jeffrey Epstein. shortly before he was rearrested, I believe. So this is U.S. politics is getting very, very, very interesting. Donald Trump seems to, I don't know, his timing and his ability to rock the apple cart is amazing. There's talk about him being showing signs of dementia. Um, I would have to look a little bit more closely. I haven't really been following him, other than just reports. Oh, Biden didn't release the files because Maxwell's case was on appeal. Is she going to get pardoned or released, do you think? Not sure why it's showing my tag and not my username. What do you mean? It says Melly Mel Melanie. Yeah, Trump is unpredictable. You believe she'll get pardoned? Well, you know what? She might be, but I don't know. I don't really have a position. If she stays in jail, she's probably where she deserves to be. So, what kind of a message would pardoning um, give out? Probably not a good one. You know, all the hubbub and all the publicity about her and her crimes and going on trial and being found guilty and being in jail, all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden she gets pardoned. it makes well, everything's just a joke at the end of the day, it seems. Nothing really pans out. I enjoy these little chats, even though they're sort of one-sided. Um, until I get some interest from anyone out there who wants to actually join in a voice chat, and then I'll open up a room. But until then, it's when I run out of something to say, or I don't see any questions or statements or anything that I can grab onto. Yeah, she gets released and nothing happens to perpetrators, but the perpetrators' families get to live with that, yeah, with that shame as the victims. Yes, yeah, that's true. So maybe she shouldn't be released because that's really, I mean, the whole purpose of her being in jail is to deter others, So letting her out you lose the deterrent factor. You think Vaughn is getting more desperate by the day? It seems like it. It certainly seems like it. Yeah. Okay. How long have we been going here? Maybe a good 45 minutes. Well, you know what? For 4 minutes of content and stretching out to 45 minutes, it's probably bored the hell out of you. The reason I got so many people as viewing is because they all fell asleep. Okay. Maybe I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not. I appreciate you watching, friends. I do. I really do. And I am going to put an end to your misery of having to watch and listen to me drone on. I'll see you soon.